when we look at like say Jamie Malarkey in Australia, like I say, but we also look at the guys coming through Africa through Jason Van Schalkwijk. You know, you've got Nkosi and Debele, you know, is in Brave. He's doing great. He's just had a phenomenal performance in Brave a few weeks ago. I believe Nkosi is one of the brightest prospects to be coming out of Africa. You've then got Eliezer Daikezi from the DRC. He's 2-0, 3-0 right now. He's fighting in Mauritius at the end of this month, which again I'll touch on in a second. Yeah, these, you know, Eliezer right now, I believe I could put him in any major promotion at 2-0 or 3-0, and I believe he would starch the majority of those rosters. And when you look at Africa as a continent, yeah, that's practically got zero infrastructure in a lot of areas. And then listen, Africa's not South Africa. South Africa is one country on the African continent. You know, there's so many different countries.
So much hidden talent as well, I can imagine.
How many Francis Ngannou's, how many Cameron Usmans, how many Israel Adesanya's are there that nobody even knows about yet? And this is what kind of excites us as a team, you know, to get out there. Same with Australia. You know, MMA in Australia is still a very, very new sport. And you know, this is conversations with Ross that says, look, what we want to do in Africa, what we're already starting in Africa, we want to do in Australia as well. You know, so look, it's exciting. It's really exciting from a management perspective anyway. It's exciting, you know, for the athletes that we manage, and the opportunities that are going to come. Like I say, there's more and more promotions coming to the fore, such as PFL, such as Octagon. Octagon, I think they've got about 20 events scheduled for next year. They're coming to the UK, they're coming to Ireland, they're coming, you know, they're expanding into Europe. Aries in France, you know.
Especially France now that obviously it's legal, we're having the first, this has been recorded on the first, well, when UFC Paris has been, you know, stuff like that, you know, it's only going to expand the network of opportunities for people from these areas, you know. We touched upon Africa and the talent that's coming out there in DKZ. Talk to me about the plans that you guys have got.
Right. Well, again, when Jason joined us as a fight management, as a CEO of the fight management, you know, one of the things that we'd been discussing for a while, well, the work he'd been doing in Africa for a number of years now, and he one of the first things he did, he sent me a. He'd got Scuffle Combat, which is a promotion that we were going to launch in Africa anyway. He'd got Scuffle Media, which was the media platform that he used to try and push through channels like Channel 5 and content through Channel 5. He'd done so many things himself, probably more than I can, you know, I've got time to list now, on the African continent. But one of the things that really got my attention was he'd launched Scuffle Search. Now, Scuffle Search was a docuseries that he was filming, and what he'd done, he'd taken 10 athletes from different African countries. He'd put them into a tournament-based format, and obviously a quarter-final, semi-final, and a final. That was the plan. But what were really important was he'd started filming the backstory of these athletes. So he'd got his arse on a plane with his film crew. He'd gone out to these different countries. He'd filmed these athletes in the home. And it was... The plan now is to do this every year. Now, to give you an idea, one of the guys in the docuseries, he drives a bus for 18 hours a day. He's got a wife and a child, and he survives on $2 a day. Right now,
crazy.
When you kind of look at just the trailer, I think I shared the trailer with you, didn't I? When you look at the trailer, and then, you know, he's practically got it finalised now, and like I say, the final, which I'll come on to in a second, is at the end of this month in Mauritius. But when you look at the story and the backstory that he's telling all these athletes, it's fucking hell, it really is. It's such a powerful story, and that's what he wanted to capture. So when we got talking, when he came on board, he said, "Look, this is my vision for Africa, and how we're in." You know, that I mean, I just thought, wow, you know, it's really powerful stuff. And like I say, look, I can't give too much away because, again, you know, the finals, you know, the plan now, the long-term plan is to leave a footprint on the African continent. So, leave a gym in every country for athletes to come and train. Because sometimes, you can't, believe it or not, you can't jump on a plane and go from one African country to another African country. You've actually got to fly out into Europe to fly back into Africa. It's unbelievable. So if you don't understand the territory and how it operates and how the African people operate, you're not going to survive in that environment, if that makes sense. You're not going to be successful. So, when Jason kind of rolled all this out and he said, look, this is how I see it, I was just like, I was bought in. And so, look, the plan has always been to do what's called Scuffle Fight Week. So, Scuffle Fight Week will be the embodiment of Scuffle Search, where we will film these guys fighting. We'll make it into 8 episodes of each series that we're doing every year. The guys will then, the 2 finalists will fight for a contract on a major promotion, right? So,
have you agreed the promotion?
Yeah, we have. Yeah. And again, like I say, it's not been announced yet, but it's major. It's major, and there's hopefully, there's a long-term commitment there to. Which again will be a real game changer for that continent. Like I say, the first Scuffle Fight Week, which will involve IMAF, it'll involve Grapple Fest, who've committed to 4 events here on African continent. It'll involve a major global promotion. So, like I say, the guys who win the guy who wins the final will present with that a contract for that major promotion. Yeah. So for that guy, it's life changing, literally. I can't emphasize that enough. But again, as a management entity, what it'll also do, it's going to drive these elite athletes
just new channels as well, and you're building bases as well. You're building a network, and it's the start. Like you said, this is a project that's a long-term project.
Yeah, and again, you look at the IMAF, and the reason Jason partnered with IMAF in every one of these countries. Well, look, the talent coming through IMAF now is unbelievable. I do believe a lot of the amateurs that are coming through now as mixed martial artists would probably be able to beat some of the pros from yesteryear, if that makes sense. And so I think the talent, we want to be there, because when that talent comes through and the meddling at the IMAFs and we want to be signing them. If we believe we can get them there. We're bringing major promotions to the African continent. Yeah, these guys are fighting for contracts with major promotions. So it's all there. Yeah, so the first one is end of September in Mauritius. The second one looks like it's going to be Victoria Falls in November in Zimbabwe. Yeah, we've got a commitment of minimum 6 events next year. And again, when I say Africa, we're going to different countries. We're going to Kenya. We're going to Zimbabwe. We're going to Mauritius. So again, it's exciting, and it gives a clear pathway and a clear footprint to what we want to do. And again, once we've got it right, we want to pick that business model. We want to drop it in Australia.
How soon do you think you'll be able to launch the Australian Scuffle Search?
I don't know. Listen, that's for a discussion with Ross. Again, we need to be led by Ross a lot on that, to be honest with you. But again, once we, if we can get these 2 events smashed out this year, get that, get that buzz about it, and build it for, everything. A lot of what we're doing is, 2023. But to get these first 2 events done this year, get Grapple Fest out there, which, again, you've got some of the best Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and grappling athletes, going to be descending on Mauritius, which I can think of worse places to go, and again, it's going to bring a lot of focus. I know Darren Morris and Chris Thompson, who were the guys behind Grapple Fest, when they announced Mauritius, I remember Chris saying that, look, his phone were off the hook, people, I want to come, because it's like paradise, isn't it?
For sure.
So, but look, there's a lot of hard work still to do, yeah. But on the same token, it's I believe for discovering talent, I think we're definitely on the right track, and it's it'd be great, in the not too foreseeable future, to be crowning a first UFC, PFL, Bellator champion, that we've brought through that pathway, and that's the goal. That's the goal.